Salamu alaikum, dear brothers and sisters. Life is full of challenges, and we often find ourselves struggling with our inner selves. This inner self helps us choose between good and bad, light and dark. There are always temptations that try to lead us away from what's right and into darker places. Our inner voice sometimes tells us to just fit in with everyone else, to seek temporary happiness, or to prioritize worldly success over spiritual growth. It tries to convince us that we have plenty of time and encourages us to live carelessly, outside the guidelines of our faith. However, you all have the strength to overcome these temptations. You can choose actions that make you proud, control your desires, and stay above the negative influences that try to distract you from your true path. In this video, we will join together on this spiritual journey. We'll share 15 practical steps based on the Quran, Hadith, and scientific knowledge to help you control your nafs and guide you toward a better life. Stick with us until the end of the video. The ideas we share could really change the way you see life. Remember, there will be obstacles and excuses not to push forward, but overcoming these challenges is crucial. Number 1. Constant purification. In Islamic spiritual tradition, the concept of constant purification, known as tazkiyah, is fundamental to personal development and the cultivation of one's faith. It involves an ongoing process of cleansing one's inner self, nafs, from spiritual impurities and enhancing one's character and actions to align with the will of Allah. This practice is deeply rooted in the teachings of the Quran and the Sunnah, the traditions of the Prophet Muhammad, emphasizing its importance for every Muslim seeking closeness to Allah. Tazkiyah originates from the Arabic root word zakawa, which means to purify, to grow, or to thrive. In the Quran, Allah often mentions purification alongside success, implying that a purified soul is key to achieving ultimate success in this life and the hereafter. The process of tazkiyah involves both the purification of the heart from spiritual maladies, such as envy, greed, and arrogance, and the enhancement of the soul through the adoption of virtuous qualities such as patience, gratitude, and humility. Repentance, tawbah. This is the starting point of tazkiyah. Muslims are encouraged to regularly turn back to Allah in repentance, acknowledging their sins and seeking forgiveness. This act cleanses the heart and renews the individual's commitment to live according to Allah's commands. Self-accountability, muhasabah. This practice involves taking stock of one's actions at the end of each day. By evaluating their deeds, thoughts, and motivations, a believer can identify areas of improvement and make amends. This continual self-assessment helps to prevent the accumulation of sins and bad habits. Asceticism, zuhd. While Islam does not advocate for complete renunciation of worldly pleasures, it does teach moderation. Zuhd in Islam means to detach from excesses and luxuries that distract from spiritual obligations and the remembrance of Allah. It encourages a lifestyle that prioritizes spiritual needs over material desires. Spiritual worship. Regular acts of worship such as prayer, salah, fasting, recitation of the Quran, and making supplications, dua, are integral to maintaining spiritual cleanliness. These acts reinforce the presence of Allah in the believer's life, providing spiritual strength and resilience against sin. Charitable deeds. Giving in charity and helping those in need are actions highly praised in Islam, serving to purify one's wealth and soul. These deeds foster a sense of community and solidarity, reminding the believer of the virtues of compassion and generosity. Psychological and social impact of tazkiyah. Psychologically, tazkiyah aims to cultivate a mindset that is continually aware of Allah's omnipresence, thereby influencing a person's actions and interactions positively. Socially, it promotes a harmonious community as individuals who engage in tazkiyah are more likely to exhibit integrity, honesty, and empathy towards others. The path of tazkiyah is not without its challenges. It requires consistent effort and can be demanding, especially in a world full of distractions. However, its principles are timeless and universally applicable, providing a framework for ethical living and spiritual resilience. In the modern context, tazkiyah can serve as a counterbalance to the materialism and individualism that pervade contemporary society. It offers a way to regain spirituality and find balance, encouraging a life of purpose and contentment. Tazkiyah is a comprehensive and dynamic process in Islam that involves the constant cleansing of the heart, the refinement of the soul, and the cultivation of a virtuous character. It is an essential practice for anyone seeking to fulfill their spiritual potential and live a life pleasing to Allah. Through tazkiyah, believers can achieve a deep sense of peace and satisfaction, making it a vital aspect of Islamic life that transcends time and place. Number 2, conscious awareness. In Islamic spiritual teachings, the concept of conscious awareness revolves around maintaining an ever-present consciousness of Allah, God, in every aspect of life. This awareness, known in Arabic as taqwa, is not only a state of being mindful of Allah's omnipresence, but also an active endeavor to live in accordance with His commandments and to avoid His prohibitions. This profound sense of awareness influences a Muslim's thoughts, decisions, and interactions, and is considered pivotal for spiritual growth and ethical conduct. Taqwa, commonly translated as piety or God consciousness, is central to Islamic theology and ethics. It is mentioned numerous times in the Quran as a quality that distinguishes the righteous. Taqwa is the shield against sin. It involves a combination of fear, awe, and love of Allah that prompts a believer to do good and refrain from wrongdoing. Knowledge of the divine. Understanding the attributes of Allah and His commands is the foundation of taqwa. The Quran and Hadith provide the knowledge necessary to recognize what pleases Allah and what displeases Him. This awareness is crucial in guiding the actions and intentions of a Muslim. Remembering Allah. Frequent remembrance, dhikr of Allah, keeps the heart engaged with the divine presence. It is a practice that helps purify the heart and strengthen the connection with Allah, making a believer more conscious of Him in daily activities. Observing the halal and haram. Conscious awareness in Islam involves strict adherence to Islamic laws and ethics, abstaining from what is forbidden, haram, and engaging in what is lawful, halal. This requires constant vigilance and moral discipline. Ethical conduct. Taqwa promotes high moral standards, including honesty, justice, humility, and respect for others. A person with taqwa is mindful of their duties towards others, both in their immediate relationships and within the broader community. Practical applications of taqwa. In worship, conscious awareness enhances the quality of worship by focusing the mind on the significance of each act, whether in prayer, fasting, or reciting the Quran. This focused worship is more likely to be accepted by Allah. In interpersonal relations, taqwa influences how one interacts with others, encouraging fairness, compassion, and forgiveness. It acts as a deterrent against unjust behavior and promotes peace and cooperation. In decision-making. When making decisions, a person with taqwa seeks to choose actions that are in line with Islamic principles. This decision-making process involves seeking guidance through prayer, istikhara, consultation, shura, and consideration of the potential impact on one's afterlife. Challenges of maintaining conscious awareness. Maintaining this heightened level of consciousness in daily life can be challenging, especially in environments where Islamic values are not the norm. Distractions, societal pressures, and personal desires can veer a person away from the path of taqwa. It requires a strong commitment, regular self-assessment, and community support to stay on this path. In a world where ethical boundaries are increasingly blurred, taqwa offers a clear and structured framework to navigate complex moral landscapes. It provides Muslims with a compass to distinguish right from wrong and to make ethical choices in personal and professional life. Conscious awareness in Islam, embodied by the principle of taqwa, is a dynamic and multifaceted concept that influences every dimension of a Muslim's life. It is about more than just fear of divine retribution. It is about striving for a closeness to Allah through every thought, word, and deed. This continuous spiritual vigilance molds a Muslim's character, enriches their worship, and governs their interactions, making it a vital element of Islamic practice and personal development. Number 3, giving charity. In Islamic teachings, charity holds a position of great significance and is considered one of the most meritorious acts a believer can perform. Known in Arabic as sadaqah, which comes from the root word sidq, sincerity, it reflects a sincere offering aimed at pleasing Allah, without any expectation of return from the recipients. This act of giving is not only a means of purifying one's wealth and soul, but also a practical expression of the Islamic principles of compassion, community support, and social equality. Charity, in the broadest sense, encompasses any act of giving out of kindness or love, and includes both mandatory forms, zakat, and voluntary forms, sadaqah. The Quran frequently emphasizes the benefits of charity, both for the giver and for the society at large, promising manifold returns in this life and the hereafter. Zakat, obligatory charity. Zakat is a fundamental pillar of Islam, mandated on all financially stable Muslims. It requires giving a fixed percentage, usually 2.5%, of one's accumulated wealth to those in need, annually. This form of charity aims to reduce wealth inequality and serve as a welfare system for the poorer segments of the community. Sadaqah, voluntary charity. Unlike zakat, sadaqah has no fixed amount or percentage and can be given at any time and in any amount. It can include not only monetary donations but also any act of kindness, such as helping a person in need, sharing a skill, or even a comforting word to someone in distress. Sadaqah jariyah, ongoing charity. This refers to charitable acts whose benefits continue to be reaped long after the act has been performed, such as building a mosque, a school, or a hospital, or planting trees. These deeds are highly prized in Islam because they represent a continuous benefit and ongoing rewards for the giver, even after death. Benefits of giving charity. Purification and growth. Charity serves to cleanse one's wealth by redirecting a portion of it from worldly uses to divine service. It also purifies the giver's heart from selfishness and greed. Divine rewards and blessings. The Quran promises immense rewards for those who give in charity, offering protection from misfortune and increasing one's sustenance through divine blessings. Social harmony. By aiding the less fortunate, charity promotes social cohesion and fosters a sense of brotherhood and solidarity within the community. Moral and spiritual growth. Regular, charitable giving cultivates qualities such as generosity, compassion, and gratitude in the giver. It reminds them of the blessings they have received and encourages humility and reliance on Allah. Challenges in upholding charitable giving. Maintaining the spirit of charity can be challenging, especially in a world where there is a great deal of need. the temptations of materialism can detract from the willingness to part with wealth. Furthermore, ensuring that the aid reaches the intended recipients in the most effective way poses logistical and ethical challenges. In today's globalized world, the opportunities for charity are vast and varied. Muslims are increasingly participating in global humanitarian efforts, contributing to disaster relief, poverty alleviation, and sustainable development projects around the world. Technology has also made it easier to give charity, with online platforms allowing instant and targeted donations. Charity in Islam transcends the mere act of giving. It is a profound duty that reflects a believer's faith in Allah and compassion towards fellow humans. It enriches the giver spiritually, strengthens the social fabric, and helps alleviate the hardships of the underprivileged. Through acts of charity, Muslims bear witness to their faith in a practical manner, seeking to improve their communities and the world at large in accordance with divine guidance. This ongoing commitment to charitable giving is central to a life lived according to Islamic principles, fostering a just, caring, and harmonious society. Number 4. Remembering the brevity of this world and the everlasting nature of the hereafter. In Islamic thought, the remembrance of the fleeting nature of this world, dunya, and the permanence of the hereafter, akhirah, is a central theme that shapes the worldview of Muslims. This concept encourages believers to prioritize eternal values over temporary worldly gains, fostering a life guided by the pursuit of spiritual rewards rather than material success. The Quran and Hadith frequently remind believers of the transient nature of this life and the eternal nature of the life to come. This perspective is intended to influence daily behavior, decision-making, and the overall focus of one's life. Islam teaches that this world is merely a temporary abode where believers are tested. Their actions here determine their position in the eternal life of the hereafter. Detachment from worldly desires. Islam does not advocate for a complete rejection of the pleasures of life, but encourages a balance where these pleasures do not distract from spiritual obligations. Remembering the temporary nature of this world helps in moderating attachments to its luxuries and focusing on accumulating deeds that will benefit one after death. Accountability and the Day of Judgment. A key component of this belief is the certainty of the Day of Judgment. Every individual will be held accountable for their deeds, and this accountability is a cornerstone of moral and ethical conduct in Islam. The awareness of this impending judgment influences Muslims to live righteously and to seek forgiveness for their sins. Motivation for good deeds. The promise of an eternal hereafter motivates believers to strive for good deeds and to avoid actions that could lead to punishment. It also provides comfort during times of hardship or injustice, offering hope that everything will be rightly compensated for in the hereafter. Practical aspects of this belief. Prioritization of spiritual over material. This belief system encourages Muslims to prioritize prayer, charity, fasting, and other acts of worship, knowing that these spiritual investments have eternal rewards. Compassionate and ethical living. By understanding that the ultimate success lies in the hereafter, Muslims are inspired to lead lives marked by compassion, justice, and integrity. Preparation for death. Regular remembrance of death is encouraged in Islam, not as a morbid fixation, but as a sobering reminder that life can end at any moment. This preparation involves regularly assessing one's deeds, making amends, and ensuring one's affairs are in order in accordance with Islamic teachings. Challenges of upholding this perspective. Living with a constant awareness of the hereafter while engaging effectively in the world requires a delicate balance. The distractions of modern life, with its emphasis on material success and instant gratification, can make it challenging to maintain focus on the eternal aspects of existence. In a world where materialism often overshadows spiritual and ethical values, the Islamic perspective on the brevity of this world and the permanence of the hereafter offers a counterbalance. It encourages a broader viewpoint that values moral integrity and spiritual depth. For Muslims, this belief serves as a moral compass, guiding them through ethical dilemmas and helping to align their actions with their spiritual beliefs. The Islamic teaching on the transience of this world and the eternity of the hereafter is not just a theological concept, but a practical guide for living a meaningful and balanced life. It shapes the values, behaviors, and goals of Muslims, steering them towards a path that transcends the immediate and the material. By embedding this awareness into daily life, Muslims aim to achieve success not only in this world, but more importantly, in the eternal life to come, where the real rewards of their earthly endeavors will be manifested. Number 5. Seeking knowledge. In Islam, the pursuit of knowledge is not only encouraged, it is considered a sacred duty for every Muslim male and female. The emphasis on education stems from the Quran and the sayings of Prophet Muhammad, which together underscore the belief that seeking knowledge enables a deeper understanding of the faith, fosters a better society, and brings one closer to Allah. The very first revelation given to Prophet Muhammad in the cave of Hira included the command to read, Iqra, highlighting the importance of knowledge right from the outset of Islam. This command illustrates the value placed on education and learning as a means to understand the world and one's purpose within it. Religious knowledge. This includes understanding the Quran, Hadith, jurisprudence, fiqh, theology, Aqidah, and the history of Islam. Religious knowledge helps Muslims fulfill their religious duties accurately and with insight. Worldly knowledge. This encompasses all other fields of study, including the sciences, humanities, arts, and technologies. Islam encourages the acquisition of worldly knowledge that can lead to improving the condition of humanity and stewarding the earth responsibly. Integration of secular and sacred. Islam does not draw a hard line between sacred and secular knowledge. Both are considered necessary for a well-rounded life and society. The Prophet Muhammad is reported to have said, "Seeking knowledge is an obligation upon every Muslim." This broad directive includes all forms of useful knowledge, from religious teachings to medical science to engineering. Personal development. Knowledge enriches an individual's understanding of the world and enhances their capabilities, allowing them to contribute effectively to their communities. Spiritual growth. Understanding the deeper meanings of the Quran and the purpose behind Islamic teachings can enhance one's spirituality and connection to Allah. Social impact. Educated individuals can contribute to the welfare of society through informed leadership and ethical governance. Education fosters a just society where individuals are aware of their rights and responsibilities. Global contribution. Muslims are encouraged to contribute to the body of global knowledge. The Golden Age of Islam serves as an exemplary period during which Muslim scholars made significant advances in fields such as medicine, mathematics, physics, astronomy, chemistry, and philosophy. Challenges in pursuing knowledge. Despite the high status given to education, various challenges inhibit the pursuit of knowledge today. These include political instability, economic barriers, lack of resources, and sometimes cultural attitudes that undervalue certain types of education, or discourage education for specific groups like women. In the modern world, where misinformation is rampant and the complexity of societies is increasing, the Islamic emphasis on knowledge acts as a counterbalance. It promotes critical thinking, informed decision-making, and a balanced perspective on life's challenges. Islamic educational principles can guide individuals to distinguish between truth and falsehood and to contribute positively to society. The pursuit of knowledge is a fundamental aspect of Islamic teachings, reflecting a tradition that values both spiritual and worldly education. This tradition is not just about personal fulfillment, but is seen as a vital component of communal welfare and global interaction. By continuing to emphasize education, the Muslim community can address contemporary challenges and contribute to the world in meaningful ways, following the prophetic command to seek knowledge from the cradle to the grave. Number 6. Having good companions. In Islam, the concept of keeping good companionship is not merely a social recommendation, but a spiritual directive that influences moral conduct, personal growth, and religious observance. The Prophet Muhammad emphasized the impact of companions, famously stating that one is on the religion of their friends, hence highlighting the importance of choosing companions who positively influence one's faith and behavior. Good companionship is pivotal in Islam because companions have a profound influence on individual behavior and spiritual state. Friends who uphold moral values and engage in beneficial activities encourage similar behaviors in others. In contrast, companions who indulge in harmful or sinful activities can lead their friends astray. Therefore, Islam stresses the importance of surrounding oneself with righteous people who remind one of Allah and encourage acts of worship and goodness. Righteousness. A good companion in Islam is someone who practices the faith with sincerity, performs their religious duties, and avoids sinful actions. They uphold the values of honesty, modesty, and integrity. Encouraging good and discouraging evil. They not only engage in good deeds, but also encourage their friends to do the same and discourage them from sinful or harmful behaviors. Patience and support. During times of hardship, good companions provide emotional and spiritual support. They offer counsel rooted in Islamic teachings and are patient with their friends' faults. Knowledgeable. Good companions are often knowledgeable about Islamic teachings and can provide beneficial knowledge that helps others in their religious and worldly affairs. The impact of companionship on personal development. Strengthening of faith. Regular interaction with devout Muslims reinforces one's own faith and religious practices. Observing friends who regularly pray, fast, and engage in community service can motivate individuals to follow suit. Moral guard. Good companions act as a moral safeguard, reminding one another of the boundaries set by Islam, especially in environments where temptations are prevalent. Shared learning. In a circle of knowledgeable companions, individuals find opportunities for shared learning, discussing religious texts, and reflecting on their meanings. This collective study often leads to deeper insights than solitary learning. Challenges in maintaining good companionship. Finding and maintaining good companions can be challenging, especially in diverse and often secular environments, where Islamic values may not be the norm. The pressures of conforming to societal norms or peer groups that do not share the same values can dilute one's religious convictions, if not vigilant. Islamic communities play a crucial role in facilitating environments where good companionships can flourish. Mosques, Islamic centers, study circles, and community events are pivotal in creating opportunities for Muslims to meet and form bonds with like-minded individuals. In today's digital age, the concept of companionship extends beyond physical interactions to online communities and social media. The principles of good companionship in Islam are increasingly relevant as they guide interactions in virtual spaces, where the influence of peers can be significant and sometimes not immediately apparent. In Islam, good companions are seen as treasures that enrich one's life and faith. They provide support, impart knowledge, and encourage behaviors that align with Islamic teachings. The Prophet Muhammad's guidance to choose companions who are better than oneself, or at least of equal standing in faith and morality, remains a timeless advice for cultivating a life that is spiritually fulfilling and morally sound. This emphasis on good companionship underscores Islam's holistic approach to welfare, which encompasses spiritual, emotional, and social dimensions. Number 7. Reciting Quran. Reciting the Quran holds a central place in Islamic practice and spiritual life. As the literal word of Allah revealed to Prophet Muhammad through the angel Gabriel, the Quran is not only a guide for personal conduct and the legal foundation of Islamic society, but also a source of spiritual healing and enlightenment. The act of reciting the Quran is imbued with profound theological significance and numerous benefits, both worldly and spiritual. The Quran itself emphasizes the importance of its recitation. Allah instructs Muslims to recite the Quran in a slow and measured rhythm, tartil, which helps in understanding its messages and reflecting on its meanings. Regular recitation is seen as a way to keep one's heart engaged with the divine, cleanse the soul, and guide behavior according to Allah's will. Spiritual connection. Reciting the Quran is a direct communication between the believer and Allah. This act is considered a form of worship that brings the reciter closer to Allah, earning divine rewards, hasanat, for each letter recited. Cleansing and protection. Regular recitation of the Quran purifies the heart and shields the believer from sin. It serves as a protection against the temptations of the worldly life, dunya, and the whisperings of Satan. Guidance in daily life. The Quran offers guidance on all aspects of life, from legal issues and moral dilemmas to family relationships and business conduct. Muslims turn to Quranic verses for direction and answers to their spiritual questions. Emotional and psychological healing. The Quran addresses the emotional and psychological needs of humans. It contains verses that soothe the heart, relieve anxiety, and bring peace to the mind. This aspect of the Quran is often referred to as shifa, healing, for what lies in the hearts. Educational and social implications. Promoting literacy. Learning to recite the Quran often begins at an early age in Muslim communities, promoting literacy and education. Many children learn to read and write through Quranic studies. Preservation of language. Quranic recitation helps preserve the Arabic language as it is recited in its classical form. This has kept the language vibrant and consistent across centuries. Community bonding. Group recitations, such as during the Taraweeh prayers in Ramadan, strengthen community bonds and provide a shared spiritual experience. Challenges in Quranic recitation. Language barrier. For many Muslims, Arabic is not their first language, which can make understanding the Quran challenging. However, translations and exegesis, tafsir, are available in numerous languages, helping non-Arabic speakers gain insights into the meanings of the verses. Time constraints. Modern lifestyles can make it difficult to find time for regular Quranic recitation. Setting specific times for recitation, such as after daily prayers or early morning, can help integrate this practice into daily routines. The art and science of tajweed. To recite the Quran correctly, Muslims learn tajweed, the art of pronunciation and intonation in Quranic recitation. Tajweed rules ensure that each letter is pronounced with its full rights and attributes, which not only enhances the beauty of the recitation, but also preserves the meaning and integrity of the words. In an age of constant distractions and fast-paced lifestyles, the recitation of the Quran offers a spiritual anchor, bringing tranquility and focus. It reminds Muslims of their faith's timeless teachings and their relevance in contemporary issues. Moreover, the global Muslim community, through online platforms, has found new ways to learn and engage with the Quran, making its teachings more accessible than ever. Reciting the Quran is a fundamental Islamic practice that nourishes the soul, refines the character, and guides the believer through the challenges of life. It is an act of devotion that transcends time and place, connecting every Muslim to their faith and to the divine will of Allah. Through its recitation, the Quran continues to be a beacon of knowledge, guidance, and solace for the entire Muslim world. Number 8. Lowering your gaze. In Islamic teachings, the concept of lowering one's gaze is emphasized as a critical aspect of personal conduct and morality. This directive is rooted in the Quran and Hadith and extends beyond the mere physical action to encompass a broader commitment to modesty and self-restraint in interactions between individuals. Lowering the gaze is viewed as a safeguard against sinful thoughts and actions, promoting purity of heart and strengthening one's spiritual resolve. The Quran explicitly instructs both men and women to lower their gaze and guard their modesty. This instruction is part of broader Islamic teachings on modesty, which include both physical modesty in dress and behavioral modesty in interactions. By lowering the gaze, Muslims avoid the pitfalls of lustful thoughts and inappropriate relationships, fostering a society based on respect and dignity. Prevention of unwanted desires. Lowering the gaze helps prevent the development of unhealthy attachments and desires. It is a proactive measure to maintain one's moral integrity and avoid situations that could lead to sinful actions. Respect for others. This practice is also a form of respect towards others, acknowledging their dignity and not treating them as objects of desire. It reinforces positive social interactions based on mutual respect rather than superficial judgments or physical attraction. Promotion of self-discipline. Regularly practicing this restraint strengthens self-discipline, which can benefit all areas of life, including personal relationships, academic pursuits, and professional development. In today's highly visual and digital age, where images and visual information are incessantly available through media and advertising, maintaining this aspect of modesty can be challenging. The prevalence of provocative images and social norms that often sexualize individuals makes it difficult to adhere to this practice without conscious effort and strong personal conviction. Mindfulness in media consumption. Being selective about the media one consumes and setting personal guidelines regarding online behavior can help manage what one is exposed to regularly. Education and awareness. Understanding the reasons behind Islamic injunctions on modesty and the benefits of lowering the gaze can reinforce commitment to this practice. Community education programs can help reinforce these values across different age groups. Community support. Having a supportive community that shares and upholds similar values can provide a conducive environment for maintaining modest behavior. Group discussions and seminars can be helpful in sustaining motivation and providing practical tips. Strengthening marital relationships. By reducing exposure to potentially harmful stimuli, lowering the gaze can help individuals focus more on their relationships and foster greater fidelity within marriage. Enhanced focus and and productivity. Reducing distractions allows individuals to focus more effectively on their tasks, whether in education, work, or personal development. Spiritual growth. Lowering the gaze is not just about avoiding sin, it is about cultivating a spiritual awareness and closeness to Allah. This practice is viewed as a form of worship and obedience that can enhance one's spiritual life. Lowering the gaze is an integral part of Islamic ethical teaching that not only helps maintain personal purity, but also contributes to the overall health and respectfulness of society. It requires ongoing effort and mindfulness, especially given modern challenges. However, the benefits it brings to personal integrity, relationships, and community interactions make it a valuable practice to uphold. Through continuous effort and community support, Muslims can cultivate this aspect of their behavior, fulfilling a key Islamic principle while enhancing their spiritual and social well-being. Number 9. Fasting. Fasting in Islam, predominantly observed during the holy month of Ramadan, is a fundamental religious duty for all adult Muslims. This practice is not only a means for spiritual purification and self-discipline, but also a way for believers to cultivate empathy for the less fortunate and to physically and spiritually detoxify by abstaining from indulgences. Fasting during Ramadan is one of the 5 pillars of Islam, making it a core component of Muslim faith and practice. The act of fasting is mentioned explicitly in the Quran, where Allah commands the faithful to fast so that they may develop taqwa, God consciousness. This heightened awareness is considered a protective shield that helps believers avoid wrongdoing and grow closer in their relationship to Allah. Spiritual cleansing. Fasting is inherently a spiritual act that purifies the soul, cleanses the heart, and refines the mind. It is a time for Muslims to renew their focus on spiritual matters, intensifying prayer, Quranic recitation, and other acts of worship. Physical detoxification. By abstaining from food and drink during daylight hours, fasting also serves as a physical detox that can improve health by giving the body a break from constant digestion and assimilation of food. Obligatory fasting. This includes the fasts during Ramadan and the fasts for expiation of certain sins or fulfillment of vows. Voluntary fasting. These are fasts that are recommended but not required, such as fasting on Mondays and Thursdays, the white days of each lunar month, 13th, 14th, and 15th, and the day of Arafah, for those not performing Hajj. Educational and communal benefits. Learning self-restraint. Fasting teaches self-control and discipline, as individuals must refrain not only from eating and drinking, but also from anger, gossip, and other sinful behaviors during the fast. Enhancing community bonds. Ramadan brings the community together, both through shared fasting and through communal prayers like Taraweeh and meals, such as the breaking of the fast, iftar, and pre-dawn meal, suhoor. This communal aspect reinforces social bonds and mutual support. Challenges of fasting. Physical and mental demands. The physical challenge of fasting from dawn until sunset can be demanding, especially in regions where daylight hours are long or during hot weather. Work and education. Balancing the demands of fasting with work, school, or other daily responsibilities can be challenging. However, the discipline and focus gained during fasting can also enhance productivity and mental clarity. In an era dominated by immediate gratification and excess, fasting as a practice offers a counterpoint that emphasizes restraint, gratitude, and a focus on the spiritual over the material. It is a time when Muslims step back from the daily pace of life to reflect, pray, and grow closer to Allah. Preparation. Preparing mentally and physically before Ramadan can make the fasting experience more fulfilling. This includes adjusting one's sleep schedule, improving one's diet, and planning time for spiritual activities. Community involvement. Participating in community activities and services during Ramadan can enhance the spirit of the month and provide support from fellow fasters. Health considerations. It is important to pay attention to one's health during fasting, ensuring adequate nutrition during non-fasting hours, and staying hydrated. Fasting in Islam is a profound spiritual practice with numerous benefits. It offers a unique blend of purification, self-reflection, and community bonding. By abstaining from daily comforts and dedicating more time to spiritual pursuits, Muslims strengthen their faith, enhance their character, and foster a stronger community spirit. The discipline of fasting is designed to develop compassion, piety, and a closer relationship with Allah, making it a pivotal aspect of Muslim life. Number 10. Performing Umrah or Hajj. In Islam, the pilgrimages of Umrah and Hajj represent one of the highest spiritual activities a Muslim can undertake. Both are journeys to the sacred city of Mecca in Saudi Arabia, but they differ in their significance, rituals, and times at which they are performed. Hajj is one of the 5 pillars of Islam, making it a mandatory act for those who are physically and financially able, while Umrah, although not compulsory, is highly recommended and can be performed at any time of the year. Hajj. Hajj is performed during the Islamic month of Dhul Hijjah and includes several days of rituals. It commemorates the trials of Prophet Abraham and his family in Mecca, including the willingness of Abraham to sacrifice his son on God's command. This pilgrimage is a profound act of faith, showing submission to Allah and the relinquishment of worldly comforts and attachments. Umrah. Often referred to as the minor pilgrimage, compared to the Hajj, it involves fewer rituals and can be completed in a few hours. Umrah includes performing tawaf, which is circling the Kaaba 7 times, and sa'i, walking 7 times between the hills of Safa and Marwa. These acts commemorate the search for water by Hagar, Abraham's wife, for her son Ishmael. Ihram. Both pilgrimages begin with entering a state of ihram, spiritual purity characterized by wearing 2 simple white cloths for men and modest dress for women, abstaining from certain actions such as cutting hair, using scented products, and engaging in marital relations. Tawaf and sa'i. Central to both Umrah and Hajj, these rituals are performed at the Masjid al-Haram in Mecca, the holiest site in Islam. Standing at Arafat, wukuf. Exclusive to Hajj, this ritual involves standing in the plain of Arafat praying and repenting, which is considered the climax of the Hajj pilgrimage. Benefits of performing pilgrimage. Spiritual renewal. Pilgrims often describe their experience as a spiritual rebirth, the forgiveness of past sins, and a new chapter in life devoted to living in closeness to Allah. Global unity. The pilgrimages bring together Muslims from all over the world, disregarding differences of race, color, culture, and social status, which underscores the unity of the Muslim Ummah community. Personal sacrifice. The physical and financial effort required to perform these pilgrimages teaches individuals the virtues of sacrifice and the rewards of committing oneself fully to the divine. Challenges and modern considerations. Logistical and financial constraints. The cost and planning for Hajj and Umrah can be significant, often requiring years of saving and preparation. Moreover, the physical demands of the pilgrimage can be challenging, especially for the elderly or those in poor health. Overcrowding. The large number of pilgrims can lead to issues such as overcrowding and accidents. which the Saudi government addresses through extensive regulations and infrastructure improvements. Performing Hajj or Umrah remains a deeply transformative experience for Muslims, emphasizing devotion, community, and personal growth. These pilgrimages serve as a reminder of the equality of all Muslims in the eyes of Allah, promoting messages of unity and brotherhood that are particularly poignant in today's diverse global landscape. The pilgrimages of Umrah and Hajj are fundamental components of Islamic practice and belief, offering deep spiritual cleansing, opportunities for renewal of faith, and a profound sense of community. These journeys are not just physical acts of worship, but are also transformative experiences that heighten a Muslim's devotion, humility, and commitment to God. By fulfilling these rites, Muslims strengthen their faith, seek forgiveness, and return with a renewed sense of purpose and dedication to leading a life in accordance with Islamic principles. Number 11. Performing Salah. Salah, the ritual prayer of Islam, is a cornerstone of a Muslim's faith and practice. It is performed 5 times a day at prescribed times: before sunrise, Fajr; midday after the sun passes its highest, Duhur; the mid-afternoon, Asr; just after sunset, Maghrib; and in the evening, Isha. Each prayer consists of a sequence of movements and recitations, including verses from the Quran and praises to Allah. Salah establishes a direct link between the worshipper and Allah. It is a time to communicate personally with the Creator, express gratitude, seek guidance, and ask for forgiveness. This act of worship is designed to focus the mind on Allah, maintain consciousness of Him throughout the day, and strengthen one's faith. Discipline and time management. Regular prayers structure the day and help believers manage their time effectively. Spiritual growth and reflection. Salah offers moments of quiet reflection and meditation, which are crucial for personal development and spiritual growth. Reduction of anxiety and spiritual peace. Regular connection with Allah through Salah provides a sense of peace and grounding, reducing stress and anxiety. Number 12. Saying du'as. Dua is the act of supplication in Islam, a personal prayer and one of the most intimate forms of communication with Allah. Muslims are encouraged to make dua for anything they desire in both their personal lives and for others, provided it does not entail harm. Dua reflects a Muslim's reliance on Allah and the belief that He is the solver of all problems and the provider of all needs. It embodies humility and the acknowledgement of one's need for Allah. Emotional relief. Expressing one's fears, desires, and thanks through dua provides emotional relief and fosters a strong personal connection with Allah. Cultivating patience and trust. Regularly making dua helps cultivate patience, perseverance, and trust in Allah's timing and decisions, strengthening hope and resilience. Du'as help maintain a positive outlook by focusing on the mercy and benevolence of Allah. Number 13. Having strong willpower. Strong willpower in Islam involves the strength to resist short-term temptations in order to meet long-term goals. It is essential for maintaining discipline in fulfilling religious duties, such as daily prayers, fasting, and other commandments. Resisting sin. Strong willpower aids in avoiding sins and adhering to Islamic teachings. Spiritual resilience. It fosters resilience against spiritual challenges and hardships. Developing willpower. Regular worship. Consistent engagement in acts of worship strengthens resolve and self-discipline. Learning and reflection. Understanding the consequences of sin and the benefits of obedience can reinforce willpower. Number 14. Being patient. Patience, sabr, is highly valued in Islam, regarded as both a virtue and a form of worship. It is particularly emphasized during trials, suffering, and hardship. Coping with life's challenges. Patience helps in enduring difficulties with hope and dignity. Achieving personal growth. Through patience, individuals develop compassion, empathy, and wisdom. Cultivating patience. Reflective practices. Regular prayer and meditation on the Quran can enhance one's ability to remain patient. Community support. Drawing strength from the experiences and support of others can also foster patience. Number 15. Setting goals. Goal setting in Islam is encouraged as a way to strive for both worldly achievements and spiritual growth. Setting clear, achievable goals is essential for personal development and success. Direction and purpose. Goals give direction to everyday activities and long-term plans. Efficiency and motivation. They help optimize efforts and maintain motivation in both religious and worldly pursuits. Balance. Goals should balance worldly ambitions with spiritual responsibilities. Practical steps. Include practical steps and regularly assess progress to ensure goals are aligned with Islamic ethics and personal capacities. Each of these practices, salah, dua, willpower, patience, and goal setting, plays a distinct role in the life of a Muslim, guiding them towards a balanced, fulfilling, and spiritually enriched life. Together they form a comprehensive approach to personal development and faithfulness in Islam. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit that bell icon